catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hello, Mountaineers. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and this is the WolfMan's call for the breakdown of the Texas Longhorns. Yep, the horns down. We'll get it right out of the way. Horns down, you got the muskets up, baby. Horns down, muskets up. And it's brought to you by Parmar Stores. If there's not one near you now, there will be soon. And Artisan Grange Company. Switch to hemp. Just the dip. Artisan Grange Company hemp. Well, it's a big game. The two teams are 2-2 and 500, and they've had some good and some bad. They've look at the Longhorns. They've had some injuries to their quarterbacks, so you don't know who the quarterbacks are going to be. Is it going to be Ewers? Is it going to be Card? It doesn't matter to me. They're interchangeable. But really, what matters to me is it's going to be a game again of attrition. It's going to be a game where the Mountaineers are going to have to control both sides of the line of scrimmage. Now, they got some biggins. I call them biggins, man, on that Texas front offensively and defensively. And you're going to see that, and I'll show you some video to back that up. But then, you're going to look at them and say, this is a Texas team that they're really surprising that they're 2-2. Now, losing to Alabama, hey, that's anybody's game. But they showed me a lot of grit in that game, a lot of grit. And they possibly could have won, possibly because they missed a field goal that actually would have put them ahead. So the reality is that they're legit. And I think at 2-2, they are going to be more than ready to come after the Mountaineers. So the Mountaineers are going to have their A game. Now, they're not going to sit there and roll up on Texas and surprise them. JT Daniels scoring points, making the calls that he needs to do, running game, offensive linemen, blocking, tight ends, blocking, wide receivers blocking. And then when you need the plays down the field, the passing game, obviously they've been making the plays. Bryce Ford Wheaton, excellent season thus far. Now they went ahead and probably with Bryce, probably wasn't his best game last week, but, he's going to come back strong. There's only like 3 other guys in the nation that have 27 catches and 4 touchdowns like he does. And I think he's tied for number 1 for most contested catches in the nation. So that doesn't suck. Okay, let's just say it that way. Sam James, recently he's just been making big plays, catching big balls at big times. So he's coming through in critical situations, in my opinion. And Caden Prather just keeps getting better and better and better. And we get back to the running game, and we think about, obviously you got to talk about Donaldson, CJ, man. I mean, here's a dude that is averaging over 7 yards per rush. Here's a guy that, again, is 240 pounds, a freshman. What a story. What a story. And I hope that it continues Saturday against the Longhorns, because if it does, It's just going to keep building and building. It's called that snowball effect. The snowball effect, where you're going to see CJ in the offensive line, the confidence. Now, before we get into breaking it down, let's really look at this. Steve Sarkisian, if you look at his records, he has never been a head coach that's had a big-time winning record. His best record, I believe, was 9-4, and then he was 5-7 against Texas. I don't know if he's a great head coach. I know that he's a great offensive coordinator. I know because he was the offensive coordinator of the greatest offensive team in history. I think that's been proven, certainly by the numbers. But, sometimes making that transition from OC to head coach is tough. Not everybody is good at one thing and good at both. And Steve Sarkisian, so I'm not sure. So there might be some weakness there. There might be some weakness that the Mountaineers might be able to find. The fact that he just doesn't have that program shooting to where it needs to be. Because losing to Alabama is one thing. Going to losing to Texas Tech, I don't know about that. Now, Texas Tech obviously is a team that's good, competitive, and if you don't show up and you're not giving your A game, they can beat you for sure. That's big. That's Big 12 football. The Red Raiders, they're big, no doubt. Are they Texas big? They were last week. They took it to them, threw some big balls over the top, some deep balls and burned those Longhorns. I mean, they went in at halftime with a substantial lead, and they didn't come out and play. So Alabama, I'm watching. I was like, man, these guys are battling. Alabama, they are battling. They are like, toe-to-toe punching, man. And then I see that Texas Tech, and I'm like, what's going on? Who is this team? Which team is going to show up tomorrow for the Longhorns? Which team? And if I knew that, my crystal ball would be working. I'd be absolutely out there predicting the scores and who's going to win it all. But again, that's why they play the games. And let's just say this. The Mountaineers, again, they're not going to roll up on anybody because after Virginia Tech and watching that offensive line control that defensive line, and watching that defensive line control that offensive line, and watching the receivers and the tight ends making some plays, and then watching the DBs making some plays, it's like, hey, this West Virginia team that everybody was sure that Kansas was the end of the Mountaineers. And if you go back and you go to the WolfMan's call, the breakdown, I don't have to brag, but I'm telling you, you gotta listen to what I say because I've been there, I've done it. And what I say is that Kansas was a good team, is a good team, a competitive team that if you don't give your best, if you're not clicking on all cylinders, they can certainly hurt you. And they're going to hurt some other teams down the road. Don't have any idea how good they're going to do either, but I know this. I believe they have 2 more games to win to go bowling. I think that'll be the first time they'll be bowling in 12, 13 years. So I'm saying this. I'm seeing what I like. I like Kansas last year at the end of the season. They beat Texas. You remember that game in Texas? They went there, and then they lost to West Virginia by just 1 score. And it was a tough game. The Mountaineers had to get bowl eligible by beating Kansas, and that was not easy. And of course, we all know the history of that, but you saw that team getting better. I am not so sure we can say the same thing about the Longhorns after watching them. Great athletes, look great in a uni, get off that bus. You look like an NFL team. Get off that bus and onto the field of their uniforms, and they look like they are high cans, high keisters. You know what that is? That means speed. That means athleticism. That's what you want when you're a coach looking for players. Do they have that high butt? And are they athletic? Are they fast? And usually all those things correlate together. I mean, yeah, they do. So when you look at that Texas Longhorns, you're like, yeah, they can compete with an Alabama because they look like that on paper and in uniforms. And then they went out and played them extremely hard. But then I watched that Texas Tech. I watched the Texas Tech, and I'm not sure. So what team will show up Saturday for the Texas Longhorns? I think is going to be a big, big reason what the Mountaineers are going to do. And when you look at the Mountaineers, and let's just take a real brief minute to look back to Virginia Tech and see what the Mountaineers did. I said in a tweet the night right after the game that the Mountaineer offensive line has arrived. And what I meant by that was, are they finished? Absolutely not finished. But this unit has been harassed for 2 to 3 years, and maybe rightfully so to some degree. But 2 to 3 years, this unit has been harassed. Well, against Virginia Tech, against that big pressure defense, they went and they took over the line of scrimmage, and they forced their will on to their opponent, Virginia Tech Hokies. And that's a big deal because as an offensive lineman and as a group of 5 working together and controlling and saying, we're going to run anytime we want. There's a 3rd and 7. And again, they put out the triple package into the boundaries, and they ran an outside zone the other way to the field because JT Daniels was like, man, they got 4 defenders covering 3 into the boundary for the screen pass, but they only got this amount in the number 5 guys in the box. And you had Hollifield right there in the middle, splitting the outside to the box, playing in no man's land. When you play in no man's land, you ain't in the box, you ain't outside. You're right there. You're not going to be that much of a factor. And 3rd and 7, you saw Justin Johnson jump into it, and he got the first down. JT Daniels making smart plays, putting the offense in a position to be successful due to the pre-snap look. That's it, the pre-snap look. What's going on in a pressure situation? And if you watch it, he's done it every game. I mean, he did it again. He scored 42 points against Kansas. Okay, that's no joke. Okay, scoring these points. He's put the points out there. The Mountaineers are 14th in scoring. The Mountaineers are top 25 in offense. Last week, hey, what about, JT Daniels? He's air raid. He's a gunslinger, right? He's got the 5-star arm. He's got the 5-star swagger. But you know what I love the most? He's got the 5-star brain. Yeah, that's a smart cat. And not only that, is how smart are you under pressure? Under pressure, man. That's the key. And Saturday against the Longhorns in front of 100,000 people, he needs to be smart under pressure. He needs to be able to execute and execute well. Getting to the defense, you're going to see an offensive line that they're big dudes. They call them biggins, right? And they like to, they can move around. They're athletic. They have a tight end in there. They have receivers that are very good. Xavier Worthy, 15 yards per catch, run by anybody. I mean, he's as fast as greased lightning. The Mountaineers are going to have to do some things with him, I think, to, bracket him, do something. They're going to have really have great communication because Texas has a number of receivers. And when you go ahead and you look at that offensive running back powerhouse, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Roshan Johnson. One's averaging 6 yards per rush, the other's 5. And Hudson Carter, he's averaging 4. He's a quarterback. He's averaging 4 yards per rush. I mean, that's an offensive line that knows how to run block. And they're throwing the ball pretty good, too. The efficiency is up, either quarterback. It doesn't matter who the quarterbacks are, Hudson Carter or Ewers, right? Because once they're high 60% completion percentage, it really doesn't matter. They're very similar. They had the same intangibles, man. They're winners. They're competitors. They'll do pretty much anything for their team to be successful. They have huge cannons. They are top-of-the-line football players. Top of the line. They got 2 of them at quarterback. They got 2. Is life going to be tough during that game? Are there going to be ups and downs for the Mountaineers? Yeah, there will be. But that's where the grit's got to come through, and that's where the willpower, enforcing your will on your opponents, has to come through. Because the offensive line and the defensive line have to be very strong. Because if you give time or you let the quarterbacks escape with their escapability to extend the plays with their legs, it's going to be trouble. That defensive line has to create that pressure. The secondary's got to run with Xavier Worthy. And you don't want to run with Xavier Worthy. You don't want to run it. So we're going to go ahead. And we're going to break it down. 3 phases, okay? A little bit of special teams because they actually are pretty good on special teams. And then we'll do some offense. We did defense first last time. Now We're going to go offense second, and then we'll go finish up with defense. But when you look at this team, this Mountaineer team going in, there's some questions I have, and I really need to see an answer to it. Young brothers, man. Again, I tell you how proud I was of you storming the gates of Lane Field at Virginia Tech, down in Blacksburg. I tell you, I was on a natural high for days. And because I don't have to worry about getting back down and settling down. I tell you what, the high went away when I started watching the Longhorns against Alabama. Right out the door, man. I'm like, because these dudes got some players and these dudes are serious. But there's something not quite right. There's something wrong with a team that plays as good as they did against Alabama, but they're 2-2. 2-2. There's just something not right, and we're going to find out. But here, after this message from Parmar Stores, we're going to go ahead and watch the special teams.
Hi, my name's Zach Frazier, and I'm from Fairmont, West Virginia. And when I'm back at home in Fairmont, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that Golden Boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All he does is catch the football. That is beautiful. That's why I came to West Virginia, man.
Ding dong, the witch is dead in Arizona. It's a totally energized Heinz Field, the power of the Renegade song.
The backyard brawl, man, against Pitt. Look at that. Oh, there's Ron Wolfley.
Wow! They came after Donovan McNabb, went after him. They played to win the game. Everybody's going bonkers, even the referees.
Oh, those look like some sticky gloves right there. We talk about 50-50. Right now it's 50-50. Who's going to get it?
Game came with cover zero, man across the board. Pick up a flag because, hey, and then with the Renegade song, even flags don't count.
They're going to get an Italian army behind them right there, just like Franco Harris.
My goodness, that is pure guts.
Give me a pepperoni roll, man.
Special teams. The Mountaineers are going to have to be sharp if they don't want this to happen to them. They have excellent speed, fast, the one move, and it's over. The Mountaineers are going to have to be sharp, stay in their lanes, and make sure that this does not happen. Because watch, when he gets going, the acceleration, he's gone just barely missing the end zone. And how about this punt? How about cover this punt? Let's get inside the 10, right? Let's do it. Field position, does it matter? Yeah, you bet field position matters. And look at that. Kicking it, right? The kicker, he'll miss a kick. What happens when the pressure is on? You got to be able to kick it. Look at Casey Lake, 4 for 4 last week. He leads the nation tied for percentage-wise because he's at 100%. Yeah, special teams matter, especially down there in Austin. The only thing I want to talk about special teams is this: field position and turnovers. The Mountaineers have dropped the ball twice on punt returns. They can't afford to do it. They can't afford to fumble the ball. Can't afford to do it. They have to win the turnover battle. Since 2002, the Mountaineers are 95-14 when winning the turnover battle. 95-14. Yes, I probably say that every week, but it's the truth. Win the turnover battle. What happens when Jacoby Spells gets a pick six? The Mountaineers win. What happens when the Kansas corner gets a pick six? Mountaineers lose. Turnovers. It's about turnover, about field position, about going down there and stopping the opposing offense in their own zone, deep in their own zone, making them punt. This is the first time that Texas doesn't have a punter that's killing it. They're averaging, I think, 39 yards per punt. Before, they had a punter that was like 50 every time. He's from Australia. Not this time. But again, field position. How do you do it? Well, you do it by special teams, included with the offense and defense. Defense stops them. Special teams gets the ball for the offense in the opponent's zone, just like they did when they blocked partially blocked that punt against Texas Tech. Mountaineers started off at the Hokies' 48-yard line. That's what the Mountaineers got to do. They got to all make plays. You don't go into Texas and with the Longhorns and not have a special day to win. What was that day with Will Greer, right? Gary Jennings. Yeah, I was there. I was right there. I watched Gary Jennings from 15 feet away, 20 feet away, make that touchdown grab. I studied that film over and over and over. It's in my head. I can call it out right now. In my head, the throw from Will off the back foot, the timing, the ball to drop right in because where Will threw it from. Special plays, big plays, and here's what Texas has been hurt from. Big plays, but we'll get into that. So let's go ahead. Let's break down the offense of the Longhorns. Let's break down this offense. To stop the Longhorns, number one, you got to stop number 5, Bijan Robinson, averaging over 100 yards per game and 6 yards per attempt. You're going to watch him. He's a tough running back. He's got great vision. He's got speed. He's built solid. Here against Alabama, you got the big boys blocking for him. He won't run out of bounds. He'll put his shoulder down. He can juke you, and he can run around you. Look at this big hog of an offensive line blocking Alabama. Now, you know this is tough business right here when you can take Alabama down and Bijan Robinson walks in. He is tough in short yardage. He's tough in goal line, and you know he can score inside the red zone. What a lot of people don't know is that this cat is a receiver. When I'm saying a receiver, watch this. All he's going to do is get the swing pass, and he's going to take it home, take it to the house. Swing pass, right there. Look at that. One juke and speed. Now, that's a big man outrunning a DB. That's huge. Watch the next play. Again, you see Hudson Card, the quarterback, throws it down. He's got hands. He catches that ball right out of the air. He stabs the ball with his hands. Means that he's got ball skills. The second thing you have to do with stopping the Longhorns is you got to stop number 2, Roschon Johnson. He's a senior. We've seen him before. Watch him here in the red zone. He's got to get the ball. He's built just like Bijan Robinson. What's really dangerous here is you see Robinson and Roschon Johnson, and you're going to see Roschon Johnson get the catch and for the first down. This is late in the game against Alabama. These guys know how to make plays at clutch times. Right there. Now get the first down. Avoid that tackle. Make the hit. Puts his shoulder down. Not only does he light up in the running back, he is the Wildcat quarterback in the red zone. You're going to see him follow through his blockers. Look at that big offensive line pushing. Man, they are huge. Averaging 6'5", 320, 330 pounds. Man, what do you expect? It's the Texas Longhorns. And it doesn't matter what quarterback's in there, Ewers or Card, because they're both interchangeable. They both play the same. They're both winners. They're both athletic. They both have cannons for arms. They can scramble. They can hurt you with their legs and extend the plays. They're both completing in the mid to high 60s. And yeah, they're both pretty much the same dude. Watch the throw. Look at the release, and it gets it out. Look at the outcut, and bam. Look at that catch. That is a big-time throw, a big-time arm. Watch Hudson Card right here. He's going to take the hit, and he's not going to flinch. Right there, he stands right in there. You got to be concerned when your opponent, quarterback, is not afraid to take the hit. You've seen the quarterbacks, their toughness. You've seen their accuracy. You've seen their power. But this is what really makes them dangerous. It's their competitiveness. Right here you can see Hudson Card. He's going to extend the play and get the first down on his legs. There you go. Look at that. They get the pass rush that affects him, but they leave him open. They don't corral him, man. And that's the toughest thing. You got to corral these quarterbacks. Again, doesn't matter which one it is. Offensively speaking, you're going to see the 11 personnel, the big offensive lineman, the tight end, and 3 receivers or 2 running backs, whatever. They're going to change it up as multiple offensive personnel. And again, when you change it to quarterbacks, watch Hudson Card right here. Watch him. He's going to take his time. He sees it, releases, right on target, big time accuracy. These 2 guys, I'm telling you, right now, the Mountaineers, the secondary has to be in communication and make sure that their coverages, they're disguising and understanding and being on the same page as each other. Xavier Worthy, first class, big time All-American last year. Watch, this cat is fast. I think the Mountaineers are going to have to double up on him, but watch out because he's third in receptions on the team, but he's getting the most yards at 15 per reception. Watch him go. Look at this. He just runs right on by the secondary. Watch this. Play action pass. Watch Xavier right there. He gets the ball. 1, 2, and he got 4 Texas Tech Raiders. You're not going to catch him. That's 6 points. You're not fast enough. Then here, check this out. Again, look at this ball. Quarterbacks can throw the ball, and he can run. That's not a touchdown, but it's 2 yards short. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver Jordan Whittington, has 18 receptions for 200 yards, averaging about 11 yards per catch. But you're going to see him going in motion and coming across on this little swing pass. But he's a go-to guy. He has the most completions on the team. He can run. He's a good athlete, and he's got sure hands. As you see down here, again, he'll make the great catch right there. You got to love receivers, and I keep saying this, but fundamentals have slipped so much that they catch that ball in the air with 2 hands, they stab it, and they get it just like picking it right out of the air. And Whittington is one of those receivers. Watch out because he can hurt you for the first down markers in possessions. And looking at this Texas offensive line, they are big. They are run blockers for sure. They like to be what I call rhino heads. They like to stick their head in everything and not sit back and take a picture, which you did need to do with pass blocking. But watch right here. You're going to see them get in there, and again, they get freed up, and they keep the quarterback. Big sack. Big time Alabama, but more or less, the Mountaineers are going to have to put the pressure on the quarterback. Well, I've shown you the special teams. I've shown you the offense that they can score. Putting up 410 yards per game. You know what's crazy? I was looking at the stat. They put up 410 yards a game, and they're 72nd in the nation in Division I football. What happened to defense, man? If that's 72nd and you're putting up 410 yards, the Mountaineers, of course, are putting up 490 yards, and they're 18th. 409. I mean, my goodness. Is it just because the rules have changed? I don't know. I don't want to go off on a rant. So let's go ahead. Let's get into the Longhorns defense. They're extremely good. You're going to have to watch out for the defensive line, the linebackers. But those DBs are good. They break in the ball, but they keep up some big plays against Texas Tech. I think there's a real challenge for the wide receivers, Bryce Ford-Wheaton, Sam James, Caden Prather. And, of course, let's go to Michael Laughlin, right? Let's go to C.J. Donaldson because you know what? You're an excellent receiver out of the backfield, and Tony Mathis, Justin Jump Cut Johnson. You all got ball skills. You all have to perform on this day against the Longhorns, because guess what? It's an important day, and you have to big play this defense. Breaking down the defense, key is this. The defense is only giving up 135 yards against the rush and 245 in the air, which they got stung last week against Texas Tech on some big play passes, which we'll talk about here shortly. But watch here. T'Vondre Sweat, number 93. Watch big man breaking through, getting to the quarterback, putting the pressure on here. You can see this is a dude that is big, moves really fast for a big man. Watch up here over the right tackle. Watch Ogleful working the edge. He's got 3.5 TFLs, 1 sack, but right here you're going to see him put the pressure on. Get around, gets the sack, nowhere to run. Watch the pocket collapse there with the Longhorns. They did a good job of corralling Alabama's quarterback. Look at the bottom, number 6, Watts. He's coming out of corner blitz. Well, that's going to open up for Jalen Ford, the linebacker, who leads the team with 38 tackles, 3.5 TFLs, and then put a sack in with that. Watch the pressure they present. They do like the blitz. They will go man coverage, the Longhorns. And even though the Longhorns are giving up 245 yards on average in the air, they have players back there, and in their man and zone coverages, they like to break on the ball and jump in front. Gets in there, jumps right in front, should have made the catch, but guess what? He's there, he's making plays. but the Mountaineers are going to have to get open, and JT Daniels is going to have to be the most accurate that he's been thus far in this season. Watch the defender jump on the pass. That is big-time play. That is touchdown. That is 6 points for the Longhorns. JT Daniels is going to have to be at the top of his game because this DB core are good athletes, and they can hurt you if given the opportunity. Now check this out. This is 3rd and short for Alabama. You're going to see the corners are rolled up right down here. And what I really like is you're going to see the defensive line and linebackers get engaged with Alabama. 3rd and 1. Game is getting tight. Game is on the line. Watch. Right there. He gets in there. He stops. Look at that. You see where the ref is, the spot? You can see the spot. He gets it's now 4th and short. Game is on the line. You see the replay right here. He does not get his butt hits before the ball hits to that yellow line. And here, 4th down, man. 4th down. Defense of the Longhorns comes up big. It's short. And that concerns me because that's Alabama and that's a Texas Longhorn defense that wants to play. And the Mountaineers and their offensive line is going to have to be like last week against Virginia Tech and control the line of scrimmage. Secondary is showing a cover 4, cover 3, cover 2. Like I said, they're going to go man free. But watch this. What the Longhorns have been hurt with is big plays. Watch this run here by Alabama. You're going to see him go 80 yards, man. 80 yards. Getting blocked, not getting off their blocks. And now you're going to see Alabama's speed. Yeah, they're top of the line, all right. But guess what? Big plays hurt. Watch this, Texas Tech. You see the pass? Going big. Texas Tech was down at halftime, man. There's big plays in the second half right here. Beating that defender. Mountaineers, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Sam James, Caden Prather, JT Daniels. You're going to have to make some big plays. So this is what the game comes down to. Critical plays at critical times. Here it is, last drive to go kick a field goal for Bama to win. What happens? This quarterback makes an exceptional play for Alabama and moves the chains. That's what the issue is. That is what JT Daniels and every player on the Mountaineer team has to do if they want to come out of Texas with a victory. Exceptional plays at exceptional times. Win critical downs. Win critical downs at critical times. That's the success. That's the key to the Mountaineers being victorious in Austin. So let's sum it up, right? Texas Longhorns, you know, you can't have a lot of penalties. You can't have turnovers. We'll get all that out of the way. Okay, you got to play good ball. You got to play smart ball. You can't be doing a legal procedure, you know, jumping off sides to put yourselves in a 3rd and 7 instead of a 3rd and 2. Critical situations, you have to win critical downs. And I think that they're starting to learn how to do that, but you're going against a team like the Texas Longhorns. The nice thing is the Mountaineers are, you know, top 25 offense, top 25 defense. And to me, the special teams are making a difference in the games, making a difference, positive influence. So Mountaineers are in the right track for 2-2 split after some struggles, after some toughness. Pitt was a tough game. That could have gone either way. Should have gone Mountaineers. Mountaineers actually should have won it, but they didn't. So, but then Kansas, they still could have won the game in overtime, even despite the fact that they weren't great in that game on defense. Could have still won it, still had an opportunity. That says a lot to me, too. Tells me a lot. You go into Townsend, you blow them out, you do what you're supposed to do, great. You stop the bleeding. And then you go to Virginia Tech, and you roll, man, and you go into the dreaded Hokie land, and you go win that Black Diamond Trophy and keep it back in Morgantown for whenever the next time they play. But they're on the right track. I can't say that Texas is on the right track. I know they're trying to get on the right track. I know that there's some rumblings down there in Texas about Sarkisian. Again, if you look at his record as a head coach, not great. Not great. So are they wondering, is this the right coach to take him into the SEC? I don't know. You know, I guess we're going to find out. I think it's so important for the Mountaineers to go ahead and have success in the ground game. They can't sit there and make JT fire the ball. His receivers, the DBs are too good. They're too athletic. The offensive line has to move the ball and run the ball to be successful. They have to have that type of offense where they're just going to get up there and get those first guys in a combo block and then move on up to the second level. They need to go helmet for helmet, cover man up. If they can do that, the running backs that they have, that trio set of running backs they have, can really get in there and have a good day to establish that. And then when you establish that running game, which I suspect they can if they fight and they strain like they haven't done before, they can do that. And then you're going to see JT Daniels be able to use those situations, and they're going to make big plays, because that defense, if there's one thing that they've shown against Alabama, the 80-yard run, against the passes of Texas Tech, is that they will give up a big play. So the Mountaineers are going to have to make big plays in Texas. Yeah, you heard me right. Big plays in Texas. And then you're going to sit there and flip the ball over the defense. Wow. There's no way that the WVU will be successful if they don't stop the running game. No way. But then the problem is they got some really good quarterbacks. Some quarterbacks that are extremely accurate. They got quarterbacks like we got a quarterback, JT Daniels. They're that good. And they're probably better in escapability in the pocket. JT's really good at moving around the pocket and that pocket presence and that fielding defenders. But these guys are really good at getting out and extending the plays the first time. I showed it to you in the film. But they're really good too. Okay, so you got two basically titans quarterbacks in college football going at it. The defense has to put pressure and they have to corral him. And this is not a Grant Wells from Virginia Tech. This is a different story. And so if they can go ahead and put pressure on him, and you can't let the DBs have to run with those wide receivers. They got a trio of receivers. Xavier Worthy is the best of them, and he is fast. So that right there is, you got to put pressure on, because if you got to give him time, then they're going to be able to go ahead and run right on by you. I'm just going to say it. They're going to run right on by. They run right on by me in a golf cart. I got to go as fast as I could. Xavier Worthy's not fast. Greased lightning. And the Mountaineers, so they're going to have to hit that quarterback, get him out of his rhythm, pester him all day long. And first, stop that run. Bijan Robinson, did you see the pass play of the receptions he's making? And then you got Rashad Johnson coming in, a Wildcat quarterback, especially in the red zone. They got all these tools, all these weapons. It's Texas. What do you expect? Love them. Great. They sponsor everything. Mountaineer Legends, the three Wolves of football, and the WolfMan's Call, and whatever else you ask them to. And, of course, let's not forget our guys, Johnny C., Johnny Cahigas, Arston Grange Company. Switch to hemp. Just the dip. Knock that tobacco out, man. Knock that nicotine out. Arston Grange Company Hemp. Yeah. Let's go, Mountaineers. Hail, West Virginia. Let's beat the Longhorns. Horns down. Muskets up. Boom!